You are listening to Mad Chat with Chad and Matt.
Oh, this has got volume too. Okay.
Yep. You should be able
Oh,
to
here we
hear.
go.
All
Here
right, are
we
you ready for
fucking
this? Okay. Um, welcome to Mad Chat. This is Mad Chat with Chad and Matt. I'm gonna show Chad a little video. So let me go ahead and full screen this.
go. Oh shit. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Drop it.
What in the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts?
Uh, you know,
This
I,
is.
I don't really, I don't really know.
Oh my god, this is Bowsette. It has taken the internet by storm. Specifically YouPorn and Pornhub.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. I don't know how this started. I'm sure I could read into it, but this
Oh
is just.
no.
I saw random things on different gaming news websites, and I'm just like, what is this? So apparently, this is just some character that somehow has picked up traction among Mario fans, and
Oh, fucking weebs. And I don't mean to hurt your feelings if you are a weeb, but god damn it.
I mean, artistically, whoever drew this did a very good job, but it's just strange. And
It's strange.
it's turned into
What?
its own porn
Because of course
section.
it does.
Yeah. But anyways, that's how we're gonna start off this episode. So yeah, I I don't know what else to do, besides go into some more topics, and we're just gonna just abruptly stop there with Bowsette. So say goodbye to Bowsette. That's something that you now know exists.
And I'm just gonna apologize. I had no idea this was coming. So if you're like super into Bowsette and you got a hard on, now you got to run over to YouPorn.
Yep,
You
gotta
can blame
take care of
Matthew
that.
for that
Exactly.
because I came in this blind. So
And for anybody who's just listening to this and not looking at the video version, sorry, you're gonna have to actually look up what Bowsette is now. But you know, it'll be
try
for
not
the
to go
better.
to YouPorn first because you'll probably get the wrong idea.
Yeah. So to move on from here, Chad, what games have you been playing?
Well, man, I really haven't been playing a whole bunch lately. I played Battlefield 5 beta. A lot of people disliked it. I actually thought, well, I guess I was coming at it with zero expectations, so it was
Right.
actually better than I expected.
Okay.
So I actually kind of liked it, and I've kind of been missing it since it went away, which is strange because I'm not.
Sorry, are you gonna
Uh,
give your money to? Oh well, do you get the game for free or discounted?
yes,
It's
no, I
free?
get it for.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
then
get
you're
it for
not
free.
okay. Um,
No,
that's
I'm not
interesting.
supporting. Well, I mean, I guess I am supporting
You
EA.
are
but
supporting EA because you're subscribed to them on Premiere
yes,
or whatever.
yes, but I'm supporting them at a way lesser price than I would have if I would have been buying the
Then
game.
outright
So
behind their games, yeah. Well, speaking of games that were successful with little expectations, I've heard from a lot of people that Black Ops 4 was really good, and the Blackout mode was like the best battle royale mode that is out there.
I
And
watched people play it.
yeah,
It did. I'm just never a battle royale guy. It
and
it
I'm
does
not
not.
either, so I'm not gonna spend any money on it. But the guy that I'm game sharing with on Xbox already pre-ordered it, so I'm gonna
Mhm.
end up playing it for free. And I'll probably play a few rounds of battle royale and get bored, and then never play it again. I imagine. So
You know, the funny thing
like
to
both
me.
Battlefield and Call of Duty right now are not for me, but I'm surprised that so many people are so into the blackout mode. I don't know.
Well, the funny thing that is to me is EA is like they're like the boyfriend who is trying to change but can never do anything fucking right.
Yeah, they just keep fucking hitting you, and then like I swear,
And
I'm
you
gonna
want to
stop.
come back, you know, because I mean, it's not like there's a whole bunch of guys around that you're, you know. So my point being is with Battlefield 5, they decided that they're not going to do paid DLC anymore.
Right.
Like so all the map packs and stuff because they don't want to split the community up. But then they go on their rant about fuck you, don't buy our game if you don't like the way we do shit.
And then
So, like,
on the flip side, every sports game they have is riddled with loot boxes and microtransactions.
oh my god, yes.
So
Like,
much so that they absolutely refuse to take loot boxes out of games in Belgium when when the government of Belgium told all the companies to take out loot boxes. EA
Yeah,
said no. And they're going to court for it in Belgium court.
that is funny.
Yeah. What 2K did is they tried to send like letters out to the fans being like, "Hey, can you go to your government officials and tell them that you want loot boxes?" Let me see if I can pull that one up. Cuz I know yeah, right here. So what happened there is that 2K's like, "Hey guys, we know you." Oh shit, that's not the right one. "We know you guys want loot boxes. We know it. So why don't you go to your government officials and why does it keep shit? Fuck. This one. Copy. Fucking hell. There we go. Okay, so read full story. So 2K asks Belgians to contact their representatives if they think loot boxes aren't gambling. So so this is them saying, stay prepared. They're working to comply with regulations, but we will be continuing conversations with the Belgian government, blah, 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 in order to explain our view on how 2K My Team packs purchase already comply with local laws. So basically they sent out a letter to their fans saying, hey, can you help us out and tell your government officials that you want these loot boxes in your games?
Which only stupid people do. Sorry if you support loot boxes, but
yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm fucking better than you, okay?
Much better, all right? You are garbage.
Yeah, I'm fucking better than you, okay? Much better than you. You are garbage. Okay?
I haven't been able to play a 2K basketball game in years because anytime I try to do the My Career mode,
oh my god,
my guy is he's so shitty that you don't get any playing time. And since you don't get any playing time, you can't play enough to get enough points to level up. So it's like, here, pay me $40 more for some VC points or whatever, and your character will finally be decent enough to play.
And you know the bad thing is that 2K had the best basketball franchise.
Oh yeah,
like they made some good fucking games, and then EA stopped being able to compete with them with NBA Live, and then they're like, oh well, we're just gonna take all the money.
Yeah,
you know, and that's one of the ones that 2K is the dark horse of the loot box. Like they don't get a whole lot of attention for their loot boxes, and they are one of the worst offenders.
Yeah, it was 2K basketball games are absolute shit. Like with loot boxes.
Did they not have big issues with WWE 2K about? I know they had some really bad reviews for a couple of WWE games in the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's mostly for them taking features out and hiding a bunch of shit behind a paywall like DLC. One thing, because I've been trying to play with my brother, and like if you make a character with a certain move set, like cause certain characters have moves that are locked behind DLC, like Kurt Angle. To get Kurt Angle's moves, you have to buy the Kurt Angle DLC. And if you make a character with one Kurt Angle move, then the person can't download that character without also owning that Kurt Angle moveset.
Oh, wow.
So it's like I had to buy like a $5 moveset thing in order to download a character that my brother made because he had one move that Kurt Angle had or some shit. And it was really stupid.
Okay.
Like,
so there should never be any DLC for a wrestling game.
No, there shouldn't.
Because there's not a whole lot of content there. I mean, how many people are on a WWE roster? 30, maybe 35.
Well, there's actually it's gotten crazier since you watched. So there's like they have the WWE, the men, the women, and then the people in NXT, and then the legends and like alumni and shit who don't wrestle anymore. So they've got like probably triple that by now. And then
So they
they'll
probably got
lock
about
and then
75,
they'll
80
lock
people.
like some legends behind a paywall. Or they'll say, "Oh, we've got some more people coming out later who we haven't finished making. They weren't originally going to be in the game, but we're going to put them in now." And that, like, so now in order to get the Daniel Bryan DLC pack, you got to pre-order and then give us like $10 extra or something. It's stupid. There's always an excuse, but yeah.
Yeah, that's really scummy.
Yeah, but I finished Spider-Man, or Spider-Cop, as some people call it. You know, I just gotta say, Spider-Man, the game itself was fucking awesome, and I loved it. Loved everything about it. But I've seen some reviews from people saying that they don't like how Spider-Man is so buddy-buddy with the cops. It's just not right. The cops are, like, oppressors.
So
Yeah.
it's bad that
It's bad that
Spider-Man-
it's bad that he's fighting bad guys and helping the
it's
cops.
bad that he's fighting crime. Damn it, Matt, you were probably the Spider-Man that was banging on people's doors, stopping people from smoking pot, weren't you?
Yeah.
You fucking...
Excuse me, citizen. That's marijuana.
Excuse me, citizen. That's the Mary Janes.
Well, there was one of these. Oh, God, one of these that says something so stupid that I just have to quote it. God damn it, where is it?
It's really weird though, like how society's changing. If someone's doing better than you, it's immediately someone's holding you down. Not that someone worked harder.
Yeah, it's because you're being oppressed, not because they're working hard for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Adam
yeah, people
Carolla had
are
a-
like, yeah, Spider-Man's bad because he helps police. Like, well, what is he supposed to do? Help the criminals? Like, come on.
Like Adam Carolla was saying, when he was growing up, he would say like, you know, there'd be like, oh, there's Mr. Jefferson. He's driving him a nice Cadillac, and everyone in town would be like, oh man, Mr. Jefferson, you know.
Mm-hmm.
One day, if I work hard, I can become a doctor like Mr. Jefferson, and I can get a nice car like that. And he said, now today is someone sees someone driving a nice car, and they go, fuck that guy, you know.
Yeah.
I want him to have to pay more in taxes, or I want this and that. You know, it's not if I do the right things, and yeah, it's just a giant culture change. It's pretty crazy.
That's true.
I mean, hell, Norm Macdonald got kicked off the Tonight Show because he said he like defended Roseanne or something, and so they got mad at him and wouldn't let him go on.
McDonald. That's you have a different opinion that I don't like? Get out of here. Go on, get. Oh, Telltale Games closed. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna
familiar?
hurt some feelings here, but I don't give a shit.
Honestly, I don't either about not getting those games anymore, but it is shitty for the people who lost their jobs with no notice.
That's true, but
So,
apparently
that's
their
sad.
working conditions were pretty awful there to begin with.
Really?
So it's almost like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it's,
like,
it's so crazy. Like you hear these horror stories about working as a game developer where you have to work like 70, 80-hour weeks with no overtime pay to meet
'cause their
deadlines.
salary.
Yeah, to meet deadlines to get games out on time because the producer or the God damn it, like the big publishing companies are like, hey, we want this out on this date, so you got to
the
do it.
investors.
Yeah, investors are like
Exactly.
this, and then EA and Activision's like, well, you got a date, get it out by
Yeah.
the release date.
Well,
We've
I
got
mean-
investors to please. We've got microtransactions to make, and it's coming out.
It
We need
sucks
to
for
meet
both
holiday
parties
season.
involved, though.
What?
I mean, it sucks for both parties involved because imagine giving half of your money or 15% of your money to somebody, and they're supposed to be making you a product, and
Right.
now they're saying, "Oh yeah, we're not delivering on time."
Yeah.
And you're like, "What do you mean you're not delivering on time? I gave you the money. Like,
Yeah.
I need this money back so I can invest it with somebody else." But it also sucks for the people that have to work overtime because well, I work
Yeah.
shift work. I mean, I get it, man. It's not
yeah,
fun.
I'm salaried right now too, and like over the week of Christmas last year, I had to work a lot, like so much time. It was ridiculous, and I got paid the exact same as if I was working,
It,
a regular 40 hours, and it sucked, but I had to do it. So just like, I can't imagine working like 80-hour weeks though. I was probably 60, and that shit sucked.
yeah. But then
But
again,
80,
you weren't
goddamn.
you weren't doing exactly what you loved, right? Because if you don't go into game development to make money, you go into game development to do what you love. At least I would
Yeah,
hope.
but I imagine these people still have families that they'd like to see on occasion.
Fuck their families.
You're not very sympathetic for these developers, are you?
No, I'm just.
God damn, that's cold-blooded.
Yeah, it really does suck for them, you know. But like I said, that's a consolation prize. At least you like what you're doing. It's,
Yeah,
it's
that's
better
true.
than working 80 hours on a construction site and you didn't grow up
Yeah.
wanting to be in the construction.
I mean,
business,
unless you
know?
just love building shit.
I mean, some people do. But
Some people do. That's their passion.
let's just say if you gave me a choice between working 80 hours in a job I fucking hated or working in a job that I've always wanted to do, I would pick the latter, you know?
What if the one that you've always wanted to do is like 20 times harder than the job you hate?
Well, then I would hope I'd get paid better. And if you don't, well, then, I mean, goddamn, you got to do what you got to do. You
Yeah.
either, I mean, that's when it comes down to, like, do you want to keep sacrificing all your time and for this money or for this job, or do you want to go do something else?
And then you end up getting laid off with no warning after you're done.
Well, they should have thought of that before they decided to never change anything about any of their games.
What? It's so bizarre too. Like Telltale, they have this one niche that they did with all their games, and then they took on like 20 projects at once and didn't finish anything. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you guys
Well,
doing?
I
Take
Well,
on
I think one of their
fewer
big flaws
jobs.
in their game style were releasing their games in episodes. That's a terrible way to release your games. If you're not going to release an entire game, and unless you're doing it in like Mass Effect, where you're doing a 3-part series, like a trilogy,
Yeah.
you have got to finish a game. You can't just give out 5 parts. I mean, that's just too much.
Well, also they have already sold season passes for The Walking Dead season 2, and they haven't finished it. So, and last time I checked, it was still available on Xbox Marketplace to buy the season pass, and it's not finished. And the company is now done. There's like 20 people working there, and they're working on Minecraft. They're not working on Walking Dead, from what I heard. So what's going to happen to people who bought the season pass for Walking Dead season 2?
Probably not going to get anything out of it if I had to guess.
And
because the
I would
company's
imagine
gone bankrupt.
they would need to take that off of stores, as like digital marketplaces as well, but they haven't yet. Like I checked like last night or 2 nights ago, and I saw it on
I mean,
there.
the only thing that I can think of would be a class action lawsuit against them. But if they go bankrupt, then it doesn't really matter. 'cause
Well, there
there's
are
gonna be
some
no one to
employees that are suing them, so that's one thing.
pay.
It's just crazy how like nobody got severance, no one got any
Yeah.
notice. Just bye, see ya.
And that, I mean,
Thanks
that's
for your
one
time.
of the big things about having an LLC, or it's called like a limited liability company. I mean, that's the whole point of an LLC, is to have, instead of you getting your personal, like, so say you own an LLC and your business fucks somebody over, like all these customers that bought all this, they can sue your business, but they can't sue you personally. So if they sue your business and your business goes, well, you know, we went bankrupt, you know, it's now defunct. All those people who sued, yeah, they won $5 million, but if there's no one there to pay it, then, I mean, they
There's
can't
no-
go off the guy's personal.
No person, no company. It's just
I mean, that's what those are for.
congratulations, you won $5 million lawsuit. But there's no
I mean,
company
yeah, that
to
guy's
pay it.
that guy's personal credit rating may suck, and he may never get a loan for a house or anything like that. But I mean, that doesn't help the people that lost, you know, $40 on a season pass. You know,
Yeah.
the million people or however many people that bought that, sucks for them. So, unfortunately, I just don't think there's much recourse for them, to be honest with you.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you choose the next topic here. I've got a few things. This one is just Cory Barlog. You know who that is, right?
I do not.
He's the game director for the new God of War game. This was just him talking
Okay.
shit about Telltale, saying you guys should have done better by your employees, so we can skip that one.
Okay.
A librarian embezzles money for a mobile game. That sounds interesting. How much do game houses cost? This is kind of a bigger one. We might need more time for this one because there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff involved.
We can tackle that next episode.
We did the Spider-Man as Pro Cop. The Witcher casting issues.
Oh
people
god,
are,
yeah, we can go into that today
yeah.
too.
THQ Nordic buying up old franchises. That was pretty interesting. Scum Nazi tattoos removed.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
The Witcher authors.
You know that's the thing you got to worry about in a game called Scum,
Yeah.
right? My god.
I think this one was actually kind of interesting. But yeah, the Witcher author is suing CD Projekt Red for $16 million dollars.
We can go over that. That guy can get fucked.
Yeah, let's talk about this one a little bit. So,
Okay.
Andrei
He's a fucking idiot, is what he
Sapkowski. Yeah, basically what happened is when CD Projekt Red first went to this guy to try to get the rights for The Witcher, he's like, video games, they're not a good medium for storytelling. This isn't going to go anywhere. I'm not going to make any money off of this. So,
And this guy's an idiot.
yeah.
This was what, like 2008, 2006, somewhere
I
around
think
there.
I think a little bit earlier. Actually, I can just look up. This is a visual medium, so what I'm gonna do is look up when Witcher 1 was released. Remember, it was in development for 5 years. So,
Fuck, I did not know that.
yeah.
Let's
Release
see.
date. Witcher 1 release date.
It was released
That's
2011. So it
Oh,
started in
that's hold on. That's
2006.
Witcher 2,
Oh, okay.
the Witcher video game. Can you fucking?
2008.
It looks like 2008. So around 2003.
Nope.
Oh, 2007.
2007.
So
So 2002.
around 2002, they went to this guy and said, "Hey, we want to make a game based on your series," and he's like, "Well, this isn't going to go anywhere. I'm not going to make any money off of it with royalties, so I'm not going to take a percentage. I'm just going to take a lump sum now. Give me $9,500." So,
Okay.
so he took $9,000 lump sum, and they made this series of games, and now they're worth over $2 billion. CD Projekt Red is worth over $2 billion, and he's like, shit, I want $16 million now.
Yeah, he can get fucked because, let's see, that was PS2 era, 2002, 2003. Was it
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Okay.
2005 was when the 360, I believe, is when 360 came out.
What was the name of the second Lord of the Rings movie?
The Two Towers.
Okay, so let me look this up real quick. Because remember when that game came out
Yeah.
for the PS2? That game was fucking awesome, right?
Yeah.
And it was well received. Okay, and let's see. It came out in 2002, so before they signed the rights away to that game. And that game is a RPG type style game, fantasy, you know. So it's not like there weren't games out at the time. I mean, hell, Final Fantasy had been a series for, you know, over a decade at that point. I mean, that,
well, this is
Final
clearly a case of a guy not knowing jack shit about what he's talking about. And
Yes.
then now that he realizes that The Witcher is so huge because of video games, he's like, oh, well, I've created it, so I should get a bunch of money. It's like, dude, you had your chance. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think this guy should get money, but this is his own fault for the situation he's in. He's the one that chose to take that lump sum of $9,500 instead of taking royalties from a percentage. It's his own fucking fault.
Pretty much the only way that he would have not, even if The Witcher 1 would have been a financial, just a terrible, terrible thing, just blew out, didn't make any fucking money, and he took a percentage of it, right? So he didn't get any money back.
Yeah.
He probably could have just bought it back at like
Yeah.
$500 or
Well-
something like that.
Would it have cost him anything at all if he's just selling the rights to it? Like, he's not paying for the development.
And
He's
also, here's another reason
they're
why I
paying
don't feel
him
like
to
a-
use the rights, so it wouldn't cost him
Exactly.
anything.
he doesn't
so-
lose any money.
Yeah.
But this is where this asshole, it kind of pisses me off. How many more fucking books do you think this piece of shit has sold?
Oh yeah, I
since The
I
Witcher's
bought the
become amazing.
audiobooks off of Audible
Exactly.
from
So
because,
he's
because
already
of that.
technically getting a percentage of
Yeah.
the fucking video game success because his book sales have probably, at least, I would imagine, quadrupled from where they were. Because I had never even heard of The Witcher before The Witcher 3, and that game came out and it just exploded the market. And pretty much, like, you, Corey, all the people that I know that really get into like a game series and they know that there's backstory to it, like, you'll go and buy this stuff to learn more about
which
it.
I did.
Like you said, which you did. And so that piece of shit has probably made, if I would say, at least millions of dollars off the game series anyway. So he can get fucked.
So no sympathy for Andrei Sapkowski.
Fuck no.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a douchey thing to do, but I mean, hopefully they can settle it without much of an issue. But yeah, that's kind of shitty.
You know what I would do if I mean, no one would put me in charge of CD Projekt Red because I would do stupid shit like this. But as soon as I got served with some papers from whatever, I don't know how you get civilly charged, but I'm assuming you get some sort of subpoena. But I would find the guy's address and mail him just a picture of me just flipping him off. Just like, no, here's your percentage. Fuck you. So, yeah, that's kind of a dick move.
Well, he sent them a letter talking about this, like how he wants to settle this, and if they don't give him the money, then he's gonna, take him to court. And they just immediately released the letter and their response the day after, saying, "Nah, this is that he has no grounds, so we're just gonna not do this, and we're gonna share this with all of our investors and our fans, so they know what's going on. We're not gonna keep it hidden." Thought that was an interesting move. The only thing that he might have grounds on is that he says that he only gave them the rights for one game. So we're going to have to see what happens there.
There'd have to be a contract that would have to be signed.
Yeah, so we'll see. They're pretty certain that his argument is flawed. So
it seems to be pretty flawed to me.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is all going to come down to their
I mean, he's
contract.
gone on record admitting that he made the mistake of saying, I don't want royalties. I want one lump sum. So
yeah, and if he was so concerned about them only getting one game, why didn't he sue him after Witcher 2?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. I don't know. That's a good question, Chad.
Like,
you bring up a good point.
sounds like to me that he doesn't really have much of a case.
Yeah. Okay,
maybe he's hoping to get some free press here so he can sell some more books.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I wonder what else he's been doing since The Witcher. I don't really know.
And if he only sold the rights to the video game franchise, then he obviously made money off selling the franchise to Netflix for TV series adaptation.
For the TV series.
Because CD Projekt Red, as far as I
and you sell your series to Netflix, you're making massive cash.
Oh my god, yes. I don't think CD Projekt Red is involved at all in the Netflix thing. I don't think they have any say whatsoever in it.
Oh, if not, that's even like when I heard that Netflix was making a Witcher series, I was super excited. But after all the news that's been coming out, I'm less and less so excited.
Yes,
it's
they're gonna do what Hollywood always does and just fucking ruin everything.
Yeah, well, actually, before we talk about Scum, let's just go ahead and talk about the casting for The Witcher. So when they cast Henry Cavill as Geralt, I was thinking, okay, put him in some makeup, give him a beard and some white hair, and I think he could do it. He's actually a fan of the series, and he wanted to be Geralt. Like, he actually went out of his way to try to audition for Geralt. So he seems pretty passionate about it, and I think if they give him the right makeup and stuff, he can look like him. But they're making Ciri black, which is
black or Asian.
A strange choice to me.
It's
because it's like this is Siri right here. She's this.
she's got white hair.
She's got white hair. She's got white skin, green eyes. I mean,
Like
she
that's like
she
one of the
is a
reasons
character that already exists. Like this, the area they're in is it's based on Polish folklore. So
Well, I mean,
these
let's be honest.
these
The
characters.
reason why
look-
they're doing it is not for creative reasons. They're not doing it to
No, they're
help
not.
out. They're doing it to virtue signal to say, "Hey, look at us." Like
it's actually very insulting to any kind of minority to do stuff like this because this is tokenism.
yeah, I mean,
it's-
this is exactly the shit that they make fun
mean,
of in South Park.
this-
There's a reason why there's the black kid called Token
Yeah, the
Black.
one
That's
black-
his fucking name.
The one black kid in the show is called Token because they're making fun of, throwing token characters into these shows and movies and different media and stuff. It's just, this kind of stuff is insulting to any minority because it's like, it's basically saying you can't make it into TV or movies by yourself. So
And
I have to force you in because
it would have been one thing.
I'm the white savior and I have to save you. And it's like, no, they don't. Black people don't need saving. They can handle this on their own. It's okay.
It would have been one thing if they just opened up the casting. They said, "Hey, the best actress will play Siri."
The best one.
But that's
yes.
not what they did. That's not what they did. They closed it to feature.
That
I
would
think
have
it's
been
like,
an interesting way to go about it. Saying, not saying like we are going to cast a minority no matter what because we want to have this kind of person in our show. If they would have said, you know what, we've been thinking and we want to cast the best possible actress as Siri. So there's a chance it might be someone who doesn't look like her in the games or in the books. I wonder how people would have felt about that. I might have felt a little bit differently as well because they're basing it off of merit.
exactly. But that's not what they were doing.
Yeah, it's not. They went out of their way to say, we want to.
They went out to virtue signal. They really did.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's like.
Do you remember when The Witcher 3 came out? It came under fire for being racist because it didn't have black people in it.
Yeah, same with Kingdom Come Deliverance, and then those developers are like, dude, fuck you. I don't give a shit.
And so, I think
'Cause
this
it's
is one
like-
of the reasons why that CD Projekt Red is not involved in this because I don't think they would say, "Hey, we're gonna let you do this without saying anything."
Well, what I don't like about this is like, again, it's tokenism. It's throwing, it's like treating minorities as if they can't do anything by themselves. And it's really insulting to them. And a lot of people don't see it that way. And I don't know how they don't see that because it's pretty obvious to me that that's what they're doing. They're trying to get brownie points and trying to look good by treating minorities as if they're like infants and they can't take care of themselves. And it's like they'll go out of their way to change characters and like piss off fandoms, and then they'll insult the fans of a series when they say, "Hey, this isn't the way. You're doing this wrong. This isn't how this is supposed to be." It's like DC now wants to cast a black Superman for what? Like for no reason. They're trying to get Michael B. Jordan as Superman, and I'm just thinking like, that's not what Superman looks like.
yeah,
It's like
it's one thing to do like they've done with the Green Lantern or Spider-Man. They've had precedent in their comics for doing that, and they have backstories of why.
Because the Green Lantern, he can be black or white because there's Hal Jordan and there's John Stewart. They're two different characters. Like Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Miles Morales, they're two different characters. They're different people. They're just both under the Spider-Man persona.
Yeah, so, and that's like one of the big things.
Yeah, that's one way to do it, to have a different person.
That's like one of the big things that people are upset about them trying to recast 007, James Bond.
Yeah.
Like, they say, you can set it in the same universe. If you want a different character other than James Bond, just make a different agent.
Right. Yeah.
Come out
it's like
call me 007. Just say, hey, this is not James Bond. James Bond retired or was killed in his last mission or something, and now someone else is a new James Bond. Or not James Bond,
he's the new 007. Yeah. That would have been... Nobody would have given any shits about that. But it's because we know what they're doing. That's why we put up a fuss about it. Like, we know what you're doing here.
But
we know you're trying to use... You're trying to use this...
and they complain. they want to say, "Oh, look at this racist or this sexist."
that they're or that
like
you know,
that is
you
not
hate,
the point.
You hate gay people if you don't want a gay character. You hate black people if you don't want Michael B. Jordan as Superman. It's just like, no, that's you know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. I'm not gonna fall for that.
It's like
that
they tried it
bullshit.
with the Ghostbusters. Everyone was upset with Ghostbusters, and they just try to say, if you don't like Ghostbusters, you're sexist. And people are like, no, that's not
no.
it.
You made a shit movie. That's why I don't like it.
Yeah.
And like Star Wars, oh my god,
See, I'm not a Star Wars fan.
The Last
so...
Jedi is objectively a shit movie with plot holes all throughout it. Legitimately, the characters make no sense. Their motivation is bullshit. Every single part of the plot, every character that was set up in The Force Awakens was completely dropped and not carried forward at all in The Last Jedi. Every plot. All the characters that had some development were either killed off or completely changed in the second one. It's an absolute objectively shit movie. But if you say anything bad about it, you're a man baby, crybaby, and you hate women and you hate minorities. It's just like, no, I'm talking about the plot. The plot is absolute shit. The character writing is god awful. That's what I'm talking about. I don't give a shit about the actors. It's not their fault they were given a bad script.
That's very
I
true.
love Adam Driver. I think Kylo Ren is fucking awful as a villain. I like Daisy Ridley. I think she's great. But Rey is a bullshit character with no arc whatsoever, and she's got no motivation to do anything that she does, and she has no reason to be as powerful as she is. she never has anything bad happen to her. She's never challenged, and she always wins. And she has no reason to. So it's just like, yeah, your movie is shit. And no, I'm not a sexist for saying so. And back to the Michael B. Jordan thing being Superman. He doesn't look like Superman. It would be like if Andy Samberg was cast as Superman. I would be like, I would be like, no, get the fuck out of here.
That would be pretty awesome.
Andy Samberg.
What you really would need though is
like no, he doesn't look like Superman. He can't be Superman. Like I threw a fit when they cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Like,
you know what would be cool?
That was horrible.
Like, get someone like Terry Crews to be fucking Superman, some jacked motherfucker.
He'll be the new Superman. Don't call him Kal-El. He's not the same Superman. He's a different one. He's from Krypton, and then he also came to Earth.
Oh,
this
look
fucking
at you.
huge ass
Look
Jack
at
Terry
you.
Crews. He's not Kal-El, but he is a new Superman.
Damn, imagine.
Give him the
Superman
Miles Morales
landing on
treatment, this Jon Stewart treatment. Take one character. If you want to make the Green Lantern black, he's not Hal Jordan anymore. He's Jon Stewart. If you want to make Spider-Man a black Hispanic kid, he's Miles Morales. He's not Peter Parker. It's a very simple thing to do. Do you want 007 to be black? He's not James Bond. He's John Bradshaw Layfield. I don't know.
Way to go with your little JBL reference.
JBL, give me the clothesline from hell.
But yeah, I mean, we all know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're literally trying to pander to not even the normies. They're trying to pander to a certain crowd of very, very vocal people who really don't support their, like, they don't actually support, like, they'll go on Twitter and say, yeah, we support Black Superman. They won't go watch it because they're not a comic book nerd. They don't actually care. Most of the people that do the shit are really vocal on Twitter and Facebook, but they're not customers of the actual medium. Like, the people that were complaining about Kingdom Come Deliverance, they weren't going to buy it.
They were never going to play that game. They were never going to buy it. Never play it. Never watch a playthrough of it on YouTube. They were never going to watch a Twitch streamer stream it. They were never going to have anything to do with that game.
They were going to Anita Sarkeesian it. Like, oh yeah, I'm a gamer, and then get caught on a hot mic saying that you never play video games and you think they're stupid.
What do you think would happen, though, if somebody took T'Challa, the Black Panther, and they cast Channing Tatum?
Oh my god. It wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. I mean,
But if
we
it did-
supposedly, I mean,
But if it did, there would be an uproar, and he would never find work in this town again.
no. First of all, it wouldn't happen.
Right.
But it would happen if we actually did live in a white supremacist society, like everyone says
Yeah.
we do. Not everyone, because not everyone says that. Only the idiots say that.
Yeah.
But if we actually did live in a white supremacist society, the Black Panther would not exist. If this was okay, so say we have the technology we have right now. You go back 100 years, back when Jim Crow was a thing, and just awful, awful things happened to minorities and people of color. Like, just awful things. And we had movies and everything we have now. You don't think that it would have been a white guy playing? First of all, there probably wouldn't even been a black character that would have been made to look good.
Yeah.
Because back when they made movies, they had the awful blackface, like, intentionally, like, to make black people look stupid and just make them look awful. That is not what we do. I mean, I can't even anymore. God, I used to care so much about society's beating me down. And the last medium that I actually fucking give a shit about is gaming, and God, they're trying to ruin everything.
They're trying, but I don't think it'll work. Because
And-
like there's way too many people on the spectrum in gaming, and they're not gonna allow it to happen.
I mean, they're still trying to push that Gamergate was
Oh God.
targeted
They're
harassment.
still
of women in
harking on
gaming.
about Gamergate. Like, come on. I forgot about that.
I just read something the other day, and they said Gamergate, the targeting of and harassment of women in gaming, like, and it said in quotes, air quotes, disguised as gaming's ethics, like, or gaming journalist ethics. Like, no, that literally what it was about is some game developer fucking a bunch of journalists and getting great reviews for her game, which was terrible.
Yeah, her terrible game. Oh God.
Ugh.
Gamergate, that's fun. All right, on to Nazi tattoos and scum. This might have to be the last story for this particular episode. And I got this from Kotaku and Polygon. So,
Oh,
so
here
you know
we
they're
go.
going to be mad. So you've played Scum. I haven't. So I don't
I
know
actually have
anything-
not. I've just watched it.
Oh,
and
you've
played.
watched it. Okay. So apparently the premise is a battle royale with inmates in a prison attacking and killing each other. Is
Okay,
that
you remember
basically
that movie that Stone Cold Steve Austin was
it?
in?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, is it not?
They're like dropped into an island or something.
Yeah, and they have to. It's a battle royale
It's called
to survive.
that movie
basically.
is called The Condemned.
Yes.
I remember that. And the end credits had a Nickelback song playing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember that movie, Condemned. Yeah, so inmates had to kill each other, and like the winner got to go free or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a battle royale game where inmates are killing each other, and there are prison gangs, and just so happens one of the gangs was skinheads, because it's a game based on prison gangs. So these they had some tattoos, and you can see kind of
So
like
do
they had I don't know, like I guess 1488 is significant
Yeah.
to Nazis, as well as the that kind of cross-looking thing with a skull in the middle, sort of Nazi symbology, and people got mad about it, and they
course
wanted this stuff out. Like, you cannot have this in my game, and it's like they were saying that Nazi supporters were like happy about this, and then they were playing like Nazis were playing the game and harassing people or something. I don't like
Okay.
First off, no, that's not happening. Those are fucking trolls trying to get a rise out of people. They're not actual Nazis
God.
en masse playing Scum on the PC.
Okay. So speaking of Nazis,
and if that's the worst they're getting up to, I think we're doing all right as a society. If the worst thing Nazis are doing is playing a video game together.
do you remember Unite the Right Rally 2?
No.
Unite the Right Rally was the one last year where that guy
yeah.
drove his Challenger and hit one of that
Oh,
protesters
yeah,
and
and killed
accidentally
somebody.
well, I say accidentally killed her. He might have done it on purpose. I don't really know.
He
But
definitely drove
anyway,
his car into a crowd.
That's true, and he's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah,
and he's gonna
absolutely a
go
piece of
to-
shit. Yeah.
He's going to prison for the rest of his life. So there's that.
Good.
Anyway, a year later, they were doing a Unite the Right rally 2, right?
Okay.
So it was supposed to be this big thing. The governor of wherever it was, North Carolina or Pennsylvania, wherever it was, issued a state of emergency, right?
God.
For the entire thing, like 25 people showed up. So like 25 like actual Nazis showed up
Yeah.
against like, we got the Donald Trump thing. Oh God,
What's happening
this
over
is
there?
a test. The National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed. The presidential alert that everyone was like. That was a thing that came out that said Donald Trump can send text messages to any phone and it's unblockable.
Oh God.
And
Yeah.
they're doing the test today, and that was
Oh,
it.
okay.
So if you
I
heard
wonder
the
if
thing go off.
I'll get a message from the Donald.
That actually wasn't from Donald Trump, but it's from the presidential
Oh, okay.
level.
I just want to
He-
I just want to get a text from Donald saying, "Hey, you up?" Like, Donald Trump, what the fuck are you texting me at 3 a.m. for?
Someone made a joke though. They said something. It was going to come out and say it doesn't actually look like a mushroom. It's huge. Promise. It's the best.
It's huge, like my hands.
So
Yeah, Unite the Right
like
too.
the 25 people. Yeah. So there's like 25 actual like neo-Nazis, like white supremacists there. Because
And then there was like thousands of
rally,
counter protesters.
There were, but so like the first Unite the Right rally, there were people there who were not Nazis who kind of just got sucked into the wrong thing. Like they were probably
They were there for a different
alt-righters
reason,
that were-
and then it
yeah.
got kind of hijacked, and now it's
And
known
then-
as the Nazi rally. And anybody
Yeah.
who was there, who got their picture taken, is now labeled as a Nazi, which I think is kind of
So
unfair.
yeah, so the second like
The second one,
anniversary,
I think the second one's fair to say it was more of a Nazi rally.
Yes, it was, and it was pathetic. There was
Yeah.
like 25 guys there, and they got completely swarmed, and like it wasn't a thing. Like
So
no one.
because this is interesting because Nazi imagery in games, I don't think it should be censored at all. I think
No, it shouldn't.
because it makes
Like-
for one, it makes sense to be in this game because these characters are a prison gang, and what's like a main white prison gang? It's the Aryan Nation. Like
Yeah,
they're Nazis,
I
they're
mean-
skinheads.
there are probably more Nazis in the United States, neo-Nazis, than like I think, but there's no way it's over like 25,000 people.
Yeah,
And 25,000 people, that's a lot of fucking people. Like, you can fill up a small college football stadium
Oh,
with
yeah, it's a lot of
25,000
people.
people. But,
compared to
That's
like the
like-
overall population, which is 330 million.
So, I mean, it's relatively low.
And I imagine a lot
And-
of that's prison, and a lot of those people in prison, I imagine, are only joining this gang
So they don't get...
jumped
'cause
jumped by other gangs. And
There's-
of course, there are
I-
some that like really get into it, and like, oh yeah, now I am a member of this brotherhood.
And it's weird.
How you
Like,
can
I
get
have
kind of
been
brainwashed
on
into
the white supremacist Twitter. It's weird. You get, like, really uncomfortable. I've been, like, sides of Twitter to where, like, everything gets real uncomfortable. You're like, oh, yeah, these people actually mean what they say, right?
Yeah,
And you know that people like that are actual Nazis, not the guys that Joe Rogan has on his podcast. Like, those aren't actual Nazis. Stefan Molyneux's a fucking... I don't like Stefan Molyneux. I think he's an idiot. But he's not an actual Nazi. He's
Right.
just a fucking idiot. But point being is that I don't think that Nazism is as big of a like thing as the mainstream press likes to act like it is. They act like it's like 10% of the population
yeah,
actually
and
believe
people
that.
throw that word around a lot when it absolutely doesn't stick. And it kind of waters
okay.
down the meaning of the word. If you're calling everybody that disagrees with you a Nazi, then the word has no meaning anymore. Like it should mean something.
And you know, no one had a problem with Nazis when Sarah Silverman had the Hitler mustache and was making fun of him on national TV.
Yeah,
Like no one had an issue with that.
and it's
But
not like
now it's,
yeah.
And like I've always put it this: if Hitler were to come back today and look at the state of how things are going, would he rather people be afraid of Nazis, or would he rather see the Nazis
Being
lampooned
mocked,
and made fun of?
He wants
being
them to,
made fun of.
He would want them to be afraid of Nazis. He would want people to be like, "Oh, you can't show that symbol. Oh my God, no, Nazis! Ah."
Because if people are afraid of them, it's going to go underground, and people will start doing that underground. If everyone thinks you're a fucking idiot if you got a Nazi tattoo on you, my God, if you're made fun of constantly, like, you're going to start thinking, yeah, that's kind of fucking dumb.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If it's
and
something
it's
to be feared, there's something to gain from it.
Right.
Because you can get power. If people are afraid of you, then you can get power. If people think you're just a fucking idiot, you're not going to gain power over anybody because you can't force anybody into like submission. But if someone's scared of you, you know, that's a good way to get power
like,
over
we need
somebody.
to, like, right now, like, Nazism is like this scary kind of underground mafia boss when we should treat it like it's the village idiot.
We really should. We should make fun of it, lampoon it. Don't like the whole Kek thing, the Kekistan thing.
Yeah.
Like, they took the Nazi flag and made it Pepe style with frogs and green, and people say that's a Nazi imagery. Like,
it's like, no, it's literally the
understand?
opposite. It's like, it's making fun of it because
It's
people
the
know
whole Kekistan thing is supposed to make fun of collectivism and just ethnic identity, like people who take that shit too far. Like, that's the whole point. It's like, hey, look at us, we're Kekistans, you know. We got green pride, you know. It's to make fun of that. It's to say, look how fucking stupid this is. Everyone is identifying as a green frog. Like, this is fucking stupid. Like, that's the point of the thing, is to make it look dumb. And the more you try to hide the swastika and stuff like that, the more you're giving the Nazis power to hold over those symbols.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know if you remember here recently, it was maybe a year or two ago, but the gay pride people tried to take back the Nazi symbol. It didn't work out for them. They had like tie-dye shirts with with Nazi symbols on it.
Wow. And oh my God.
Yeah, it didn't work out. It didn't work out for them.
Oh yeah,
so,
don't do that. Like, maybe don't try to take the swastika.
Don't reclaim the symbol. Make the symbol a laughing stock. That's what you need to do.
That's, oh God.
Yeah.
That's
my input. I mean, I
don't even know what to say about that.
I understand in places like Germany, it's literally illegal in Germany.
They've actually changed it recently, which is
they?
why I thought this one story is interesting, because Nazi imagery is now legal in Germany. 100% it's legal in games. I don't know about the rest of the country, but games can now show Nazi imagery, which I thought was interesting, and that's why I've saved this story for so long, because Germany is okay with it, because they said we should stop hiding what happened, and we should talk about it and learn from it. And I think that's basically I mean, the only point of view that makes any sense. You know, don't hide it. You know, talk about it. Let everyone know what happened. Let people know what these images mean.
You're never gonna get over history if you suppress it. You're just
exactly
not.
Like, let
what's
people
gonna
know.
happen is people are gonna try to repeat it because the people are fucking dumb.
Yeah, or they'll like, oh, what are people so afraid of? This must mean something. This must be like important, something that I can look forward to or be a part of and have meaning in my life. People are trying to keep it down because they're afraid. Like, well, no, it's just it's retarded.
It's a bad thing. Like, it would be a terrible thing for the United States to like pass a law saying you can no longer teach what happened before segregation. Like, oh no, the United States was always nice and sweet and lovely. No, you gotta teach the shitty things we've done. That way we don't repeat them.
Exactly.
You can't just gloss over history like it didn't happen. I mean, come on.
Come on.
Come on. Just leave the Nazis in scum. Like, oh, come on, guys.
I said, come on.
But yeah, I mean, it's just dumb. The term that I hate is dog whistle. So like, you'd leave the Nazi symbols and they would say, oh, it's a dog whistle for real white supremacists. Like, how do you know it's a dog whistle? Because dogs can only hear the dog whistle. So are you the Nazi that's listening to it?
Yeah. Well, how can you hear the dog whistle if you're not a dog?
Exactly. So the only people that are supposed to hear the dialogue. So I mean, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
It's really dumb. My take: lampoon Nazis. They're stupid. Anybody who subscribes to any race being superior and should dominate over any other race, it's fucking dumb. It's just dumb. And
Couldn't
that's
agree
just-
more.
Yeah, I'm frustrated now. Way to go, Matthew.
And on that, we'll end this episode. So thanks for listening, everyone who did. And
Oh, and by the way, I'm not a Nazi, so there's that.
that's exactly what a Nazi would say, Chad.
That's true.
I'm on to you. You're probably one of these guys who's joining the Daily Stormer and
Oh, the storm fags. Oh, I hate those
Yeah.
guys. Oh, I apologize for the F word, but guys, I grew up in the early 2000s. Like
we
it
grew
wasn't
up in rural Oklahoma in the early 2000s. It's very difficult for us to get that word out of our vocabulary.
And when we say the, I'm just gonna say, when we say fag, we're not talking about gay people. Okay, we're not. So, just don't get butthurt.
I mean, well, it's hard for gay people to not get butt hurt, Chad.
Apparently, not if they use lube.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. That's good to know.
I think we're gonna end on that. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Rare.
Thanks for listening to Mad Chat with Chad and Matt. Contact us at madchatpodcast@gmail.com and join the Discord to be a part of the community.